Hey tubes, Jonathan's wrong here. Truth on the budget. Yeah, I've been working for the first time in like a couple months, so I haven't been as active because I've been working / resting from working. And if I don't have it in me, I don't really do too much interactions because it's kind of tiring sometimes, and I don't want that to sound like offensive, like it's exhausting dealing with people. It's just if I'm too, if I'm just like exhausted and blah, I find it's best just not to, find it's best to limit my interactions basically. So I don't, so I don't sound like I'm, I'd rather just, I don't know. Gosh, bad start. Anyway. I'd rather just interact with people when I'm like in the right mind to interact with them, basically. Okay, minute in, blah blah blah. And I'm already at the place where I need to swing and get coffee, so this is a good segue to pause. Alright, phase 1 is complete. Phase 2 is gasoline. Need to get the gasoline. Anyway. So, yeah, I've been taking a little time off, relaxing, watching, dumb stuff opposed to intense stuff. And I don't watch a lot of things. The only current television show I really even watch, I'd say, would be Rick and Morty. Other than that, I don't think there's anything worth a crap on television right now. But anyway, I've noticed a trend now of all these big shows ending. Like Game of Thrones is apparently calling it quits soon. Walking Dead's on its way out. All these big money, big time shows are leaving without backup shows. Like, usually what they do is when a big time show is, on its way out, they start setting up another show. They start running ads during that time, or characters, or it's a spin-off. Not that, spin-offs have a great track record. Joey comes to mind. Anyway, so, there it is. So anyway, it just leads me to think that they're preparing for some sort of, if stuff's going down, if it's wartime, if it's, civil unrest, if there's strife, there's not going to be people watching TV. So, why waste the time and money and energy, because, these shows are expensive, doing them when you're about to have a total rehaul anyway. It's just a little sketchy to me. It might sound a little, far, like I'm making a stretch, but how network television works, they either run things into the ground, especially if they're cash cows. I mean, Game of Thrones is already off script. Like they're not doing what they're not with the books. Not that I read the books, but so is Walking Dead. Blah 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 blah. So they could potentially go forever. So and they're still making good numbers. I mean, even though a lot of people now just watch stuff on they'll just wait for a whole season to come out and try avoid spoilers. I mean, there's still diehard fans. I personally know people who every Sunday it's like, it's Walking Dead night, and it's a big deal, and you can't talk while the television is on, stuff like that. I personally hate it when it's like, I don't know, I don't know. You know how I feel about fiction. Like I really couldn't care less 99% of the time, unless it's like really funny, or there's characters I could relate with or get invested in, which is rare nowadays. You know, I think the best time for movies, personally, in my opinion, even though I'm going to sound biased because these are the years I grew up, but I think the 80s until about the mid 90s, a lot of really good movies came out. For reasons I'll discuss in a second. More pausing. And I'm back. So, anyways, upon retrospect, actually, great movies kind of started in the I don't know. I think the first really amazing movie I think was Doctor Strangelove. That's like, because I feel, you know, because there are good movies from the past and stuff, but they're not. I feel like a lot of them were kind of hokey, like they're not like real, you know. Not that Doctor Strangelove is kind of, you know, it's pretty bananas as the character as the characters are the characters are supposed to be caricatures. I mean, by their names alone, that's obvious. You know, the guys, you know Jack D. Ripper. Then there's who's the other one? Bat Guano is the name of the commando. You know, like bat shit. Anyway, but yeah, there's just like, when you think about really, like, I mean, look at, you know, movies like Alien, the first one, it's, and then like action movies like you know, you got like Terminator. Like, there just wasn't. And then you have, you know, then into the late 80s, early 90s, you got a good, you know, a lot of good social slash, you know, I think like one of my favorite movies is Singles. Once again, I grew up in Washington State, so it's a little close to home, but it's an excellent movie. I mean, once again, the characters are still kind of, you know, caricatures, but there's still a lot of depth there. And you just don't see that anymore in movies. There's just no more depth in anything. There's no more depth in anything, really. Movies, music. I don't know. I don't read any books anymore from any modern authors. The most recent guy I got into was Chuck Palahniuk, who I definitely could not read anymore. He's the guy that wrote Fight Club. I have not read the book Fight Club, but I've read a whole, like, at least a half dozen or more books by him. I had a ex who was into him, and I started reading the books because they were like pretty intense. That guy hates people for sure. Chuck Palahniuk hates humanity. That's for sure. But anyway, I'm way off topic. So it's what I get for like pausing and like having conversations in between doing things. But yeah, you know, I've said before, I don't like going too long without making a video, because it's the way I live. You know, like, I very well could easily disappear, so I don't want anyone to worry about me. No, there might be a few people that might actually use this channel to like make sure I'm doing okay, or, you know, monitor my current mental state. So yeah, a little bit rambly, but it's a little eyebrow raising that they're ending all these cash cows without having, you know, a contingency, because that's just kind of how they operate. So if they don't give a shit, I'm swearing a lot, I'm so sorry. If they don't care about making money anymore, if they don't care about things, the sky looks very strange right now. Like really, really weird. I don't know if I could. I know my phone's a piece of garbage. I can't tell. Like, I don't know if you're getting any of this. The sky looks really weird. Like the clouds are like those are clouds. They're all the same shaped clouds, but there's like blue inside some of them. Like it doesn't look right. Like there's cloud texture, but with sky color. I don't know if you're getting any of that. It's really bizarre looking. Looks like the sky's fake right now. I hope you got that. I know my phone is awful at taking video. But yeah, I just noticed the sky looks really weird. Rumble. Missed the light. Anyway, just a thought, just something strange. I know there's a lot of things happening that make it look like a hammer is about to drop for sure. Like I said before, I see a lot of scrambling, I see a lot of damage control. That Russian vids video I have is getting a bunch more traffic again. The video that made me famous, which is still a mystery to me, why that video got so many views and is still continuing to get views is a mystery to me. Last I checked, it's over 12,000 views. If you look at the counts of my average video, 12,000 is ridiculous, absolutely insane. You know, if I get over 100 views on something, that's a lot. That's a lot for me. So like, I don't know. Strange. But I don't know, man. There's just, like I said, it just feels like they're planning for something. They're like, you know, pulling in their resources. It's like when you're expecting, you know, a war, and you start moving your factories and, you know, hospitals and pulling stuff in, or even back in the old days where how castles were built, where there were outer layers with, you know, less important stuff, and as you got closer to the main citadel, it has its own water source, you know, blah 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 blah. So as people prepare for stuff to go down, they, you know, hunker, they gather, they pull in, you know, they stop doing things that are, you know, unnecessary, because they're time and effort and blah 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 blah. So yeah, just more of the, I don't know, more of the same from a different outlook / angle, I guess. There's definitely something coming. I think it's disclosure. I mean, like, what else? I mean, I think the whole North Korea angle is just like a red herring for, like, you know, for them, for like regular TV while they plan, you know, what they're doing. That's just something to keep people occupied while they. I feel like the North Korea thing is something lately they've been just pulling out when they need some extra time, you know, when they need some filler. You know, they just go back to North Korea. I think that's going to be the purpose of North Korea. I don't think it's going to actually do anything. Like, once again, I don't even think it's a real place. I don't think there is a North Korea per se. Excuse me. Or like what we're told it is not, at the very least. But when you watch a lot of their things, a lot of their parades and everything, it all looks like CG. And they have those big, ridiculous, like that are the things that are supposed to be rockets, I guess, but they just look like silos. Little, you know, they could be full of, like, you know, they could be water tanks. They could be empty. And then and then everything in the background just looks like CG. It looks like that cheap Chinese CG. Like, I don't know if they're lazy or they're just bad at what they do, but the Chinese just suck at a lot of the, for such a sneaky government. The government's really crappy at like pulling off things, because I think they're just used to doing it to a people that just willingly accept stuff so easily. I mean, trying to, if China tried pulling what they pull in certain parts of like, South America, be no way. It works on some Americans, but the Chinese space program stuff is some of the cheapest stuff you can see. The ton of air bubbles, when they do their spacewalks. Just, I don't know, all their stuff looks like, I've seen some rocket takeoff footage that just looks completely fake. I mean, they'll be sending up these rockets with absolutely, it'll just be like a giant bullet just taking off, and it's, there's like, how is that? I don't know. It's just not how a rocket's shaped. And the fact that's going up perfectly straight at like a perfectly like consistent speed, it just looks fake. Anyway, obviously all the space program stuff is fake, but the Chinese seem to not like to spend any money on it, so they just do fake takeoffs and fake. Everything's fake. Like, they don't even do stuff like. Though I feel like when the Americans do their launches and stuff, it's like a ritual. It's like an FU. It's like a flaming phallus to the heavens. I feel like it's a ritualistic FU when you do the rocket launches. Oh, and here's another interesting point that I got someone thinking on the other day. That we spend all this time and energy just trying to escape the atmosphere, supposedly, with our rockets and whatnot. Where if any of this stuff was real, we would just have a base on the moon, because it would be the perfect base. It's always facing the same way. We always know where it's going to be, and it's supposedly solid iron. So like why would we not use it to launch off of? There's no atmosphere, like lower gravity. Like, it just, I don't know, it doesn't add up. We would have a base on the moon, and we would have had one like 20-30 years ago. The International Space Station would have been the first step, and then they would have gone ahead and started building stuff on the moon, which they haven't. So it's all crap. But anyway, super rambly. Can't believe it's over 18 minutes. I had one little quick topic that I just wanted to cover, and I ended up blahing. But anyway, I haven't been in my car driving around in a while, so I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy that. Jam out to some music while I still got a little sunlight, and it's pretty. But anyway, I love you guys so much. Have a beautiful day, and God bless you.